This is a CC Radio podcast.
Welcome to the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews podcast feature review. Today it's all about John Wick Parabellum. My name is Wayne.
And my name is Paul. So let's get straight into it then. John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum.
Parabellum.
As directed once again by the returning Helmer, Chad Stahelski. Screenplay by Derek Kolstad, who created the characters to begin with, Shay Hatton, Chris Collins, and Mark Abrams. It's 131 minutes long and stars, of course, Keanu Reeves in the titular role, Lawrence Fishburne, Mark Dacascos, Asia Kate Dillon, Lance Reddick, Angelica Houston, Ian McShane, and Halle Berry. It's projected to have been made for approximately $55 million, which, according to Screen Rant, which makes it the most expensive film in the franchise thus far. Yeah. And the estimates are saying, although we are reviewing this before it even opens in the States, that it is going to open domestically to between 30 and 40 million, making it the biggest of the three thus far.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it needs to, because it costs more money to make. So
yeah.
But so we're basically suggesting it needs to make about 120 million, 110 to 120 million worldwide to go into profit.
I hope it does.
Yeah, well, me too. Wayne, what's it about?
John Wick Parabellum picks up exactly where the last one left off, with John Wick, the world's most hammer-time hitman who was once retired but was spurred back into action by the death of his puppy. Completely understandable. Do not fuck with a man's dog. In the last film, John Wick violated the rules of the overarching organization which governs all the hitmen. They call the High Table. He did that by committing a killing within the consecrated walls of the Continental Hotel, which is a safe space for all the hitmen. So this violation, has gotten John Wick excommunicated from the organization, which immediately puts a $14 million bounty on his head and makes him the target of every hitman in the whole damn world. This film's about him trying to get out of that, deal with that, take out motherfuckers.
That's basically it. Without getting into spoilers, and of course we will begin in a non-spoiler fashion to give our overall review. All right, Wayne, is there any question, first of all, whether John Wick is or is not?
You know, with your eyes, you tried to set that up with it. Like, what's he doing? Oh, I see. No, he's definitely the best.
He is the best.
He's definitely the best.
Yep.
And
he's back.
Yeah, and I should mention, by the way, I saw this last night. Paul saw it mere moments ago. It's like 10:30 at night at my crib. It's a Thursday night. We're chilling. We're kicking it. There's a bit of jazz cabbage going on. You know what I'm saying?
So right. We've had to record due to schedule and me being away.
Yes.
So we're recording early and giving my distinct impressions. Wayne got to see the advanced screening last night. Packed theatre?
Rather. Not hugely so. Not the worst I've ever seen, but very...
Or the best.
Certainly, best. I mean, but full.
Yeah, so again, with thanks to Kirby from Anarchy for the invite there. Yeah, all right. So you saw it in probably a bigger cinema. I saw it in our premium cinema, so there's less people in there, but they're all very appreciative, my audience. Were. Yeah, people were dead on into this, and it helped that I was sitting next to a whole bunch of guys who were ho pretty much the whole way through the action scenes.
Wow, huh?
What about you?
Okay, well, look, when I started this movie, first 20 minutes, I thought, holy shit, this movie is amazing. And it's just completely nuts in the right way. They can't possibly keep up this pace, but what if they can? I'm thinking to myself, like, it's very exciting. And it just had me spellbound. Even the audiences with me, jaw-dropping, wincing, that kind of thing, jumping, all very, very big. One girl next to me buried her face. She couldn't look. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yep.
So I think very well made film.
These films have gotten progressively more gorgeous to look at.
Yeah. Particularly this one. This director has taken very big pains to make one scene in particular just pretty.
Yeah, we'll come.
Beautiful.
I think I know what you're talking about. We will come to that because that would be a spoiler to talk about how and why. But yeah, it has, like the second film, it jumps around the world a bit, and so you get some very distinct looking production. I think the production design is gorgeous on this film.
As do I.
Like you said, or implied. And that's a nice little background against which what we're all here to see. The action.
Absolutely.
And the violence, of course, because this is a violent R-rated action film in American standards.
Yes. So, I mean, into just overall wise, of course, I was really concerned because the second one, I thought, it's a good movie, but he's doing the same move every single time.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to say, you must be very pleased because he very rarely pulled that move in this film.
He did it once. And in fact, they kind of nodded to it when he sort of is going back to a place. They show people doing it and like where he trained.
Exactly. I was going to say, they've even addressed why he did it so much.
So that was kind of cool. I will say, though, that although they didn't replicate the same move every time, the actual rhythm of the action is a little bit the same, and it kind of goes like this. The basic thing goes, John Wick turns up, he gets into close proximity with someone, he does either a judo move or a punch to the chest or a kick to the nuts or something, then he locks the guy up and shoots him in the head or shoots him in the chest, that sort of thing, and then it's like a spray of bullets and he moves to the next one. Spray of blood, he goes to the next one, next one, next one.
I think you're being really harsh when you say that.
I'm not
they
saying-
really vary it up
No,
for a number of unique ways.
They tried to, and
They did.
Look, it's good. The problem that this movie has, right, and any movie you're doing this is going to have this
Oh,
problem,
there's no perfect film.
right? It's because there's so much killing, you get desensitized to a bullet through the head by about the halfway mark, so it becomes a little bit not repetitive because of the same move, but the beat is repetitive.
You're almost making that sound like it's almost a complaint that an action film is so good that by the time it was too good, so I got in.
No.
Into it. It's like saying, "Oh, it was so funny that I stopped laughing by halfway through the film."
No, you
for a
misunderstand.
comedy.
You misunderstand. Here's the thing: John Wick keeps shooting people, and towards the end, it's a lot of shoot. In the beginning, there was a lot. It's generally, as a rule, more interesting to watch him dispatch someone without a gun than with a gun. So in the beginning, he's using a horse to kick a motherfucker through like shit, and it's okay. There's a lot of shit going on.
Don't
right?
say any more than that.
All right, fine. But basically, he hasn't got a gun for the first almost act, right?
Yeah, look, and again, I think there are.
That was good. That's why the first bit was good.
But it has to be guns. This is a film about assassins.
Absolutely. But it became, I don't know. Look, I'm not complaining. I'm saying I had a good time with the movie. All right. I don't know. I'm saying I had a good time with the movie. It's just had a diminishing return thing because it became a lot. There's so much action that, I don't know. If he had varied it up enough, if there had been varied, I wouldn't have felt it was repetitive. There's a way of not doing it.
I did not feel it was repetitive at all.
I felt it was a little repetitive.
I was very impressed
Better.
by the variations in the fight scene. So the biggest criticism of Chapter 2 would be that it was almost exclusively him with guns other than a couple of close quarter fights.
Him and guns and exactly the same move. That's what
They
X-Number
have
was.
most certainly redressed that.
Look,
and
he
improved upon
has.
it.
It's way better. And let me tell you, this is a 2.5-hour movie.
Yep.
That's a long movie for this kind of movie. And
The second one was the same length, give or take.
Is it? Well, in its favor, I did not feel this one was that long. So I remember at the end, I was like, oh, is that? Because Alejandro went with me and he said, man, that was 2.5 hours. I was like, no, was it? Oh, shit, it was. So
It's a good sign as well.
very good sign. So I'm saying that the only complaint I have about this movie is basically the fact that for me, it became less effective as it went on because it was a long time. But there's a lot of great things about this film.
Yeah, look, obviously the stunt work is second to none.
Agree.
I liked the variation in the action scenes. I thought the storyline as it progresses, look, it's always going to be the weakest part. They do expand the world, and the expansion of it is interesting enough. It takes a couple of interesting, shall we say, turns, which are a little weak.
Look, I would agree, but I would also say that here's the problem with some of these movies, right? All action movies, you don't have to disregard the plot, but you should understand that that's not what you're there for.
That's exactly right.
But with this one, what's good about it is that the action is delivered in such a way that you agree with the fact that you're not going to think too hard in this movie. Some other movies don't do that. They do action in a certain way, and they make the lead character too interesting, so it makes you think, like, should I think in this movie? This one doesn't do that. This one actually just gives it to you, and for some reason, I just think the way it was filmed allowed me to fall into, yeah, fine, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know?
As you said, it's a very pretty film. As far as action films go, you can't ask for too much more than this. If you are looking, and what you're implying, I think, is if you're looking for a cerebrally challenging action drama with depth
And I'm not.
nuance.
I was not, for the
If
record.
you're going to John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum with that expectation, you're going to be disappointed.
Absolutely. And
But
I
if you
would
go in looking for what the first two delivered and arguably this one expands upon, you're going to have a great time.
I find this the best of the three.
I think it's definitely better than two.
You liked
Definitely.
one more.
But one, it's because it was such a
because
surprise.
one was the new thing, exactly.
And it was, okay, I'll just say it now in this section and we can get into spoilers because we're tripping around them a little bit. This is straight up the best trilogy of action films that I can think of.
No.
Find me a better action trilogy than this. Tick,
action.
tock,
Action.
tick,
I'm gonna think about it and get back to you. This is a big
Before,
call.
by the end of the review.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, you can't have all fucking week.
Well, bitch.
I've had minutes since walking out of the cinema.
Well, then you shouldn't have made such a big call.
It is a big call, but there is none better.
All right, we'll think about it.
Let's. I'll throw a couple of standards up there. Terminator 3 is balls. It's nowhere near as
I
it
see
lets
what
the
you're
series
saying.
down.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
There is not a bad
The
film in these
consistent-
three. Yeah.
All right, that's not bad.
Indiana Jones, the first three are okay.
Well, see, that's the first thing I thought of.
They're not action films; they're adventure films.
Adventure films as well,
with
yeah.
obviously lots of action, but they are a slightly different genre.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I'll keep thinking. I think the only other thing I wanted to say was the people in this movie. So Mark Dacascos, you mentioned him. I didn't know it was him until the end of the movie. He is the bald guy who's essentially the main villain, sort of.
It was kind of an 80s action B grade.
Dude, Mark
right?
Dacascos, he was in a movie called Crying Freeman, which was made from a cartoon or a comic. And he was a very good-looking Asian American man. All right? I don't know what the fuck happened to him. All right?
You got old like the rest of us.
Yeah, I know. I pretty much look like that now. So, but he was good though. I loved his. You think he played it a little too funny?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. By the end, he was grating on me.
Oh, really? Because for me, I'm like, yeah, but I'm supposed to laugh because that's what when all this shit was going down, the action at the beginning, people were like, ho, 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 that kind of laugh.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's like, to me, it's like, okay, I'm fine with this because by that stage, I'm, like, as you said, a little bit deadened by all the shooting, and I want a little element in here, which is new, and that's that guy. So I didn't mind him at all. Asia Kate Dillon is the...
Where is she from?
Billions.
Oh, okay. I kept thinking, is that Zooey Deschanel with her head shaved?
No, she plays like a transgender person in Billions.
Okay.
And so one of my favorite shows, by the way. She's great in it. I don't know I can see why they cast her here. I don't know if I necessarily was like, I guess she's okay for that role. I didn't think, I'm probably used to her other character, but
okay.
That was cool.
The returning characters were my favorites. It's great. Once again, Ian McShane is very cool in this movie, but as Lance Reddick, who really stepped up in this film, I'm so glad they gave him more to do. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. And from Fringe.
Yes, I never saw Fringe, even though Pacey was in it.
Yep.
I don't want to wait. So,
Thank you. Yeah, so it was great to see him getting a bit more to do as well.
Yeah, I liked all the people in here. Like, I like Halle Berry.
And it's Halle Berry, great little role for her.
Totally.
And again, the world is what's so cool about John Wick. If you're into this series of films by now, you get immersed in it, and it's this different world. It's not really our reality. It doesn't really exist.
No,
that
it
way.
doesn't. Because
there is no law enforcement.
Exactly.
There are no police.
There seems to be no cops anyway, even though it's New York.
There's shit going down left, right, and center, and people being murdered in public, and there aren't police officers running around shooting people left, right, and center.
That's true. The funny thing is, like, in this world, like, no matter who he talks to, everyone knows who fucking John Wick is in New York, which is huge.
Yeah.
So it's like, he says random cabbie, shows him a coin. Yes, Mr. Wick.
Yep. I really want to get to spoilers, so it's two big recommends. Maybe I'm going to be harder recommend than Wayne. We shall see at the end. But if you're at all interested in John Wick Chapter 3, do not hesitate. Get out and see it.
All right, let's talk some spoilers.
All right, then. So you've been warned. Wayne,
How
did you think about the developments in the plot?
Sure. Okay, well, let's just get this out of the way. Right? The plot, as such as it is, the only thing I had an issue with, and maybe you can clear this up for me, because I'm not quite sure if I'm misremembering this or not. Towards the end,
It was a whole 24 hours ago.
No, but it's a part of it. Like, the thing about this movie is that it lacks nuance, but then again, are you coming for nuance? No, but maybe it should have had some, maybe. Ian McShane, at the end, after protecting John Wick and basically giving him the opportunity to kill him and do all this sort of stuff, at the end of the movie, he goes on to betray John Wick, and it's played as though that he all along was trying to show his strength to the high table and get his power back from the Continental or whatever. If that were the case, why didn't he just kill John Wick in the second movie? Why did he give him an hour? And, unless he was looking to get a higher station by showing his strength?
I think in the way I read it was, in the second film, he does it out of the friendship, the kinship they've developed over all these years.
Yeah,
and he gives him that hour, not realizing the high table would react so savagely to it.
Yeah, they killed everyone.
So
they started fucking with
they
everyone.
said you need to abdicate, you need to step down, you will be replaced. And I guess the heavy implication is you will be killed.
I thought that was it. They were going to kill you in 7 days.
So at that point, he realizes, all right, well, if I have to throw John under the bus, now I have to throw John under the bus. I thought they almost played it like maybe John Wick knew this all along, he was going to have to do this, but if so, that's a hell of a fall to take and survive.
No way, man. He fell off a building.
I know, so...
it's fine in this movie. In the context of this movie, it's like,
it sets it up beautiful. I mean, even the TikTok man or whatever Lawrence Fishburne's name is in the film, even he's alive after
Bowery
seemingly
King,
the Bowery King. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, who's the TikTok? Oh, that was the bad guy. I think
could be wrong. Yeah.
The King. He's alive, and it was heavily implied he was killed as well. Like, so
7 cuts.
You got 7 cuts, so maybe it's like, well, you got 7 cuts. If you survive, good on you, and he did.
Pretty much, and that's fine. By the way,
now what I'm talking about, they're the two weak links in the plot. Like, even in this world, and even all the pummeling, the beatings he's taken and gotten back up from, to fall from that height.
Yeah. But you know what? Again, in the context of this movie, the way I've been taught by the movie to receive it, I'm actually okay with that.
I'm not. It doesn't change markedly my score. It was like a little bit like, eh.
My
And I was a little bit hurt because I loved the way they worked together. I loved that. So basically, in the film, he gets chased. He goes to Halle Berry. He works his way up to an elder who somehow sits above the high table.
Yep.
And pleads his case, and the elder says, "Okay, you can come back, but you have to show your service and continue to work for us until you die."
Yep.
You do that or signify that by going back to the Continental and killing Winston.
Ian McShane. Yep.
Yep. And it says, "Oh, well, okay, I guess I have to. That's the only way I'm going to survive."
Right. Now, that's the third problem with the movie, okay? He's going back, then says, Ian McShane says, well, I guess you got to kill me. Here's a gun. He goes, no, I don't think I will. All right?
Well, yeah, Ian McShane appeals to me about his wife and says, do you want to live like a man who just does his service, or do you want to be a man who honors his wife?
Right. Awful big chance to take if you're planning on betraying him.
Right? It's a real huge one.
It's a real huge one. But let's say this, though. This is my problem. He's like, the reason I'm staying alive is so I can stay alive to remember my wife.
Yep.
And I'm like, John, are you a fucking idiot? Are you really a fucking idiot? This is clearly not for her. This is for you. So
what? No.
Yeah, no, come on. Like, if anything, it's like I'd rather die and go see my wife again and hope for an afterlife. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's a bit better.
I don't reckon he's going to the same place his wife went if there is an afterlife.
Excellent point. Excellent point. However, I don't know. His whole thing is, I want to live so I can remember my wife. That does not work for me.
Ian McShane plays on that, and that's what works for me, that he sells John, who also, remember, they're close enough that he risked everything but to give him an hour, and John Wick's such an honourable dude, he comes back and he's like, all right, well, if you're going to go up against the high table, I guess I'll stand with you.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love when people come together against insurmountable odds.
No, it's cool.
And so you were saying like, oh, it's all boring, John does the same thing. Well, they come in with this high-powered armour where him just shooting him does not much. So he has to adjust his style again.
And get a bigger gun.
Well, first of all, it gets underneath, gets him real close and shoots him underneath through the visors and everything else, which was ultra cool.
Yeah, no, I like that.
And then, they go back and get those shotguns. And you said the violence, you're like, a bit whatever. Then the first shot, that shotgun literally blows a head.
Right off, yeah.
And everyone was doing the ho-ho-ho-ho's again. So in my cinema, it wasn't that way at all.
No, that's cool. By the way, that's a little nod. There's a couple nods to the Matrix here. Apart from the fact that Lawrence Fishburne and Neo and Morpheus are in it, he's like, I need guns.
Yes.
Lots of guns. Like, oh, Matrix, bitch. So
I think I would have liked it even more had Winston got his hands dirty a little bit.
Yeah, he just sat there with wine.
He sat there with his cognac and
just
sort of swirled it around.
Yeah, with the dog in the safe, you know.
Yep.
I know, that would have been yeah, you're right.
That would have been even better.
He should have done something.
Had he just got involved in that way, that was cool. I like the throwback to all of them actually, the parlay that they go and do, and and then he does throw John Wick almost literally on the bus instead off the side of a building.
Yeah.
And then he winds up with, as you said, the king, the Bowery King, and now they're going to throw in together in what I hope will be John Wick Chapter 4.
Of course it will. If this thing goes to that 120, like you said,
if it makes enough money, and if it makes more money in the second one and justifies its increase in budget, then it will. Now, the scene you're talking about, I'm assuming was the room in the Continental with the lighting and the glass cases. Oh, yes.
And it's almost like Enter the Dragon style mirrors everywhere. And there's this big, huge, screen behind it, which is just nothing more simple, more complex than playing, colors and scenes and whatever. But because it reflects so wickedly around the room, that room took forever to design. And then smash up when he gets throwing through the glass.
There are two drinking games you can play in this game, I was thinking as I was watching it. The first is every time someone slides something across the desk towards someone else.
Really?
Drink. You would be smashed before the end of the first act. And the second would be every time John Wick gets thrown through something. Or every time John Wick breaks glass with his body. Drink.
Yeah, true.
You would be smashed.
Especially in that scene. You're done. He's
even the first scene, the fight scene you were alluding to, which was in that sort of antique shop. It's so cool when the guns, and he's breaking two guns apart and putting one together to fire one shot.
What was that? It was cool.
The caliber bullet didn't work.
Yeah, but you can't just swap barrels and guns.
It worked for me.
I don't care. It was fine. It was cool.
And then they're in this hallway of knives, and they're just grabbing knives and flinging them. And
that knife scene is the balls. It is him and just 6-7 other pricks throwing knives at each other, and it's killing, man. It was so good.
So much better, and I thought John Wick Chapter 2 varied things up by having basically him use a car to kill people, and then like you said, straight after that, we get the horse scene where he uses horses to kill people.
He slaps a horse so the horse kicks motherfuckers through shit. Yep. That is the balls. That's also obviously improbable. It doesn't matter, right?
Improbable. Guess what else it got from my cinema?
Well, what about, even when he's at the very first kill, library, he's got a book. Best he kills a motherfucker with a
yes,
book,
that's
right?
true, yeah.
And in a real brutal way. And the guy is like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right? So that was sweet because that was a nice lead in.
Which made no sense at all, given that they seem to know everything else that anyone else has ever done to aid him and gone and given retribution to them all. So this guy's like, they'll never know. Well, clearly they fucking would have because they knew.
Because he knew.
Well, just anyone else after, like anyone who had helped him before, like the Bowery King, whatever. Everyone, the high table seemed to know everything. So that guy's logic was a bit weird, but
I think that was the case of, look, he's not time yet. This guy's playing outside the rules. He deserves to get fucked up.
oh no, he would have. But my point is, had he won and killed John Wick, he'd have been killed, and yet he seemed to think he could get away with it.
Didn't think about that. Although, you know what? Even the doctor with the high table, he faked that.
He went so far as to fake being shot twice to get away with it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I see. But all right, they'd have to.
It's a little thing. It's a very little thing.
But that whole first those collections of fights we just talked about. That's the whole first act-ish. And holy shit!
Then it gears down a bit and lets you build up a little bit of character, a little bit, and shows, as you said, the adjudicator coming along and starting to give that retribution.
And that needs to happen because we can't keep up that pace.
No, absolutely not. It needed to have some time to breathe and the like. And that's when he goes to Halle Berry and they have a history. There's a lot of him calling upon history that's never been shown or alluded to on the show before.
Yep.
On the films before, which lends itself to maybe a prequel TV series in the future, or maybe even a prequel film, not with Keanu, but someone else playing him as a younger person.
Oh, yeah. Well, Keanu's 54 now.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Again.
Phenomenal.
And yeah, he does look a little slow in a couple of places.
Look, he's slower, but at 54, I wouldn't even be able to get on that shit, all right? So he's kicking ass.
He is doing it amazingly well.
And they do actually, two of the henchmen go, he's slow. He's slow. You know,
yeah.
so they're making a call on it, which is big. Imagine a real Hollywood actor saying, I'm going to put a line in here that says you're slow. Fuck you. Steven Seagal wouldn't let that
Keanu Reeves is he would totally go, well, that's perfect.
He's
a legend.
What
it needs to be.
Yeah, that's the thing. I like Keanu Reeves, so I want him to win. Let's talk about...
Good fight, huh, John? Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
He just says, yeah.
Yeah. And look, can we talk about the dogs? So
dogs are cool.
His dog is in this thing. Obviously doesn't get hurt. Another dog gets shot, but fortunately, apparently it gets shot in the armor.
Yeah, did you think that as well?
I thought dead.
Dog's dead, and that's why Halle Berry's character went ballistic.
Yeah.
But no, it's okay. The dog's fine.
He's fighting later on.
And I saw her grab something off it, and I thought, why did she put a bullet for her gun in a separate... No, it was the bullet slug stopped by the armor the dog was wearing.
Yeah, lucky for the dog, and she still fucked everyone up. That was cool. Braun, playing Italian or French? No, Italian.
I don't know. Some accent.
Yeah, not well.
It's fine.
But whatever. I prefer he just played Braun.
Anytime someone wears a cravat who's not Ian McShane, it's not going to work.
Yeah, cravats are hard to pull off. I mean, that was cool. The dogs fighting with everyone. Actually, I was scared for the dogs the whole time. I'm like, everyone's got guns. These dogs have mouths.
She was...
But they whooped ass.
Whatever she was saying is their attack order, and they knew exactly where to be. It was so well staged and framed.
And I like that the dog took them down, and everyone can just shot a guy in the head. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the dog took everyone out, or even anyone out. Maybe one person.
The dogs basically slowed people up enough that they could get shot in the head.
Yeah, exactly. Which is just perfect.
And the other scene we have to mention, which looked also in the trailer, is the motorbike.
Dude, the motorbike scene
was so good.
When I saw it, I think I was sitting there going, I think this has been the same shot for what feels like 5 minutes.
And it was such a good one shot.
Holy shit! He's flying down on the motorcycle. 3-4 guys are chasing him, and he's taking them out with swords. They're putting swords on him. He somehow proffers the sword, kills them, and
shoves
it's one
sword
shot.
Through a motorcycle, and
it flips through the.
Yeah,
but one shot. The whole thing's one shot until it cuts and he turns around the other way.
And do you reckon when Keanu saw that bit in the script, he's like, I have to be on a motorcycle doing all this shit? Was he like,
whoa, hold on?
I think he was not thinking about lame sound drops at all.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, that. No, but I remember actually at one stage my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh, he's still doing it. And then they came. But it was so, again, this is lit like your city at night. That scene was like this sort of aqua light against the dark background. Beautiful. Beautiful.
It was great. All right, well, I think I'm spent. We've done not much other than literally just jerk this film off.
Yeah, we have.
For whatever reason you're still listening and you haven't seen the film and you're at all interested, do yourself a favour. See it on the big screen. Let's get enough money in the bank so that we can see Keanu go around again in a couple of years' time.
Absolutely.
Please. I'll go first today.
Go ahead.
Final thought. Outstanding film. And for me, it's the best movie I've seen this year. On the big screen. I'm giving this a 4-star, 82.
85.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. And my score could absolutely go up. I'm not quite ready to give it a 4.5 star right off the bat. But John Wick 1 is a 4.5 star for me. John Wick 2, I think I gave a flat 82. This is 2-3 points better, but I think it will hold up better on a rewatch.
I think it will too. This is like, again, like this is how if it achieved what it set out to do, it gets a high score.
And I can't think of another 3 minimum action film series I gave all the first 3 films 80 and above to.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, I can't either because action is hard. Usually one of them at least suck.
Yep.
So, yeah. All right. If I think of one later on, I'll post it to you.
As far as the countdown is currently concerned, John Wick is the best action trilogy
Paul has to win, everyone.
going
it's
around.
Very important to
All right, that's pretty much it.
That's
Thank you for joining us for this very big review of I would suggest, the biggest action film of the year that is
Certainly
being
so far.
released. If you want to give us your thoughts on the film, hit us up at thecountdownpodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at thecountdownpc, or join our Facebook listener community. The link is in the show notes, where all the cool people, fans, and listeners of the show hang out and
chill.
interact. You can find other great shows like us on our network website, ccradio.com.au. Check out some of the good shit there. And just one little amendment to the schedule.
Sure.
Next main episode, we said last week that we were going to be doing a top 10 last time. We're not. We've changed our mind.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a TV episode.
Yep.
We're going to debrief / pull apart Game of Thrones.
We're going to do the best and worst of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So top 10 last time.
Everything.
Yeah, will be the week after. And this week, it's going to be all about what we loved and didn't love, particularly in this last season of Game of Thrones.
More on that later.
Yes. So there we are. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Paul.
My name is Wayne. Thanks a lot,
And
kids.
this has been The Soundboard.
Suck my dick.
At least it was short. And by that I mean your dick.
What? No.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'll catch you next time.
Pretty good.